Welcome to Dutch Horizons, where each episode uncovers the fascinating stories behind Dutch innovation, global trade, and the big ideas that help shape our modern world. From bustling ports to the quiet growth of new industries, we dive deep into the pivotal moments and people that turned the Netherlands into a leader of progress. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these journeys through history and discovery. Today, we explore the captivating tale of tulips in the Netherlands, a story of beauty, obsession, and the origins of the world's first economic bubble. We'll follow the journey of the tulip from distant lands to its sudden fame in Dutch society, and learn how a simple flower ignited a whirlwind of speculation and dreams. Let's begin this adventure into history, markets, and the human spirit. Chapter 1. Tulips arrive. Exotic blooms in a new land. The story opens in the early 1600s along the canals of Holland, under grey skies painted with the promise of spring. Here, a small crate arrives packed with bulbs from faraway Istanbul. These tulips, unknown to most Europeans, shimmered with unexpected shapes and the richest colours ever seen. Their petals glowed red, gold, and violet, instantly catching the eyes of curious onlookers. Whispers of these exotic blooms spread quickly through the merchant houses and botanical gardens of Amsterdam. For the merchants, tulips became an emblem of possibility and trade with distant lands. For artisans and painters, the patterns and colours inspired creativity, weaving tulips into vibrant fabrics and delicate still-life canvases. Their arrival was not just botanical, it marked the start of cultural fascination and shifting tastes within Dutch society. The Dutch elite, drawn to things rare and beautiful, found themselves enchanted by tulips in possible hues. In grand townhouses and refined salons, bulbs traded hands as prized possessions. Tulips signified far more than a passing trend. They became a new symbol of taste and sophistication. Stories of their origin in Ottoman gardens only added to their mystique, making them a coveted treasure among Amsterdam's rising class. Botanists, too, were captivated by these mysterious tulips. Eager to unlock their secrets, they studied the bulbs, experimented with soil and sunlight, and carefully recorded every change in colour and pattern. For them, each bloom was a marvel of nature, a living puzzle from a distant empire. Their curiosity fed conversations across scientific circles, connecting Dutch gardens with discoveries unfolding far beyond the city walls. As tulips debuted in public gardens and private collections, they drew crowds who had never seen flowers like these before. Markets buzzed with tales of new hybrids, each more dazzling than the last. Visitors marvelled at the transformation. A once ordinary garden had become a kaleidoscope of rare and radiant life. The energy of this moment stirred not just curiosity, but a hunger for beauty and distinction. Word of the tulips' arrival soon spread far beyond the city's elite. Artisans, merchants, and scholars all wanted a glimpse of the fabled flowers. Each tulip promised a piece of wonder from another world, a symbol of progress, status, and global connection. In this new land of opportunity, anticipation bloomed alongside those first vivid petals foreshadowing a future where desire and speculation would grow side by side. Chapter 2. Rising Value, Scarcity and Prestige. As tulips take root in Dutch soil, something remarkable begins to happen. Their striking colours and unusual shapes soon transform these flowers into coveted treasures. What was once admired in gardens is now paraded at lavish social gatherings. The value of tulip bulbs starts to shift from simple beauty to symbols of status, igniting envy and excitement throughout society. Rare varieties become the new obsession. The most exotic tulips, with their feathered petals and bold flames of colour, capture imaginations and open purses. In hushed corners of grand halls, whispers spread about new arrivals. Hopes and fortunes rise with every whispered rumour. Desire for tulips intensifies, and people begin to see them less as flowers and more as prizes worthy of admiration and boasts. At opulent banquets, nobles and merchants display their rarest bulbs as proof of taste and wealth. Competition flares as each party vies to possess the most unique blooms, transforming gatherings into lively arenas of floral rivalry. Horticulturists labour in secret, nurturing mysterious varieties that may bring both fortune and fame. The pursuit becomes strategious. Every new tulip is a ticket to higher status. As the prestige of tulips rises, so does the eagerness to own what others cannot. Collectors seek bulbs rumoured to bloom in colours never seen before, offering extravagant sums to secure their collections. Ownership of these rare tulips is no longer simply about appreciation, it's about being seen. The tulip market is born from longing and competitive display, rooted deeply in the Dutch urge to innovate and impress. In candlelit rooms, deals are struck and promises exchanged. Bulbs are passed from hand to hand, each changing owner at a higher price. Some traders quietly wonder, will this rise go on forever? Yet for now, price matters less than prestige, and speculation stirs excitement everywhere. The aura of rarity only grows, and proud owners treat their bulbs as treasures, locked away and carefully guarded. Stories begin to spread of those who have traded fortunes for a single remarkable tulip. At marketplaces, merchants boast of bulbs with lineage as noble as any family crest. The air is thick with anticipation and rivalry. Those with a discerning eye, or simply bold luck, hope to discover the next legendary bloom, their names whispered alongside their tulips in candlelit conversations and ambitious wagers. Horticulturalists become secretive alchemists, sought after for news of fresh discoveries. Every new variety is shrouded in mystery, adding to its allure. As word gets out, the frenzy only deepens. Curious onlookers and ambitious investors begin to think less about the soil and more about status. Tulip bulbs, once prized for beauty alone, are now coveted tokens of belonging in elite social circles. By the end of this fevered chapter, the humble tulip has shed its simple garden origins. It now stands at the centre of Dutch culture, turning private admiration into public competition and prestige. Whispers of speculation grow louder, setting the stage for something extraordinary. The journey from garden plot to status symbol is almost complete, and the early seeds of a coming mania have quietly taken hold. Chapter 3. Trading craze. Speculation spreads. The streets of Amsterdam pulse with new energy as tulip mania takes hold. What began among the elite now grips merchants, craftsmen, and even chimney sweeps. Wherever people gather, the latest tulip prices are eagerly whispered. Hopes of quick fortune flood every tavern and alleyway. Ordinary citizens, not just nobles, join bidding wars for rare bulbs, eager to seize their piece of this blossoming craze. Word spreads quickly, and everyone wants in on the action. Gambling on tulip futures becomes a lively pastime. Baskets of bulbs change hands in smoke-filled taverns, back rooms, and busy market stalls. Notes scribbled on scraps of paper serve as contracts, each one a ticket in the feverish lottery of speculation. Rumours swirl, fueling even wilder dreams. The city now thrums with a sense that anyone, at any time, could strike it rich. In this charged atmosphere, logic is swept aside by excitement. Friends trade tips and secrets as quickly as they trade coins and bulbs. Veteran merchants and first-time speculators jostle for the best deals, driven by stories of overnight fortunes. The language of flowers becomes the language of money. With every whispered deal and clink of cash, tulip trading transforms from a business for the rich to a thrilling community obsession. Taverns become unofficial stock exchanges, alive with laughter, argument, and anxious calculations. Candlelight flickers over faces tense with hope or fear. News of the latest price surge can trigger a burst of applause or a groan of despair. Each fresh auction brings new drama as buyers outbid each other for the rarest bulbs, convinced that today's expensive purchase will be tomorrow's treasure. Man and flower are now bound by speculation. As the fever builds, trust becomes fickle. Speculators pass notes in shadowy corners, sealing deals with just a handshake and a promise. Not all is transparent rumours of rare bulbs and secret deals heighten the excitement. Some claim to know which bulbs will soar in value, while others whisper warnings of risk. Cities swell with tulip traders, and every household has tales of neighbours who struck gold overnight or lost everything in a blink. The lure of riches breeds wild ambition. Even bakers, cobblers and shopkeepers mortgage their homes or spend savings on a single tulip bulb. Families huddle around tables late into the night, anxiously weighing the risk and reward. A single transaction can change a destiny. Beyond the glitter of coins lies fear. What if prices fall? Yet hope persists, keeping the city's pulse racing in this unprecedented trading frenzy. Children play tulip auction games in narrow alleyways, echoing the grown-ups' excitement. Songs and jokes about tulip fortunes wind along crowded canals. Every conversation seems to circle back to the madness for bulbs. Sellers delight in stories of improbable sales, while new buyers dream of becoming legends themselves. The mania has woven itself into daily life, painting the city with vibrant, reckless optimism and a shared sense of adventure. In the heart of the city, fortunes exchange hands as quickly as tulip bulbs. The city's nights are longer, its days brighter with possibility. For a moment, it seems as if the rules of wealth and progress have shifted, that anyone with boldness and luck can transform a simple flower into unimaginable riches. But just beneath the jubilation, an uneasy question lingers. How long can this dazzling spectacle truly last? Chapter 4. Peak and Collapse. When the Bubble Burst. At the height of tulip mania, excitement in Dutch markets electrified the air. Prices surged higher each day, with rare bulbs fetching sums that defied reason. People traded fortunes in hours, convinced the surge would last forever. But beneath the frenzy, anxiety simmered. What would happen if confidence faltered? The seeds of doubt grew, quietly foreshadowing the dramatic shift soon to come. Within once bustling taverns and auction halls, whispers of hesitation began to spread. Some buyers hesitated, memories of past collapses nagging at their nerves. In a single night, optimism turned to dread. Silent glances replaced boisterous cheers. Sellers, eager to cash in, suddenly found only empty hands waiting. The market's feverish energy faded, replaced by an uneasy hush. All could sense the turning of the tide, but few admitted it out loud. When the bubble finally burst, it happened with astonishing speed. A single failed auction sparked a chain reaction. Buyers melted away, prices dropped like stones, and contracts once worth fortunes became worthless scraps. Panic set in as word raced through Amsterdam. Tulips that had cost the price of a grand house now couldn't find a single offer. The spectacle that had enthralled the city overnight became a source of fear and disbelief. Picture the confusion in the crowded auction halls. Desperate sellers pleaded for bids, but no hands rose. Stunned silence filled spaces once brimming with noise. Rumours echoed in the corridors. Was this truly the end? Some clung to hope, refusing to believe the heights were gone forever. Others quietly slipped out, clutching their losses and fighting back tears. The market's collapse left heartbreak and shock lingering in the air. In the homes of merchants and speculators alike, the true cost of speculation became painfully clear. Fortunes were lost overnight, dreams unravelling as tulip bulbs lay unsold. Family dinners turned silent, letters to partners filled with regret and confusion. Amsterdam, once alight with bubble-fueled prosperity, now felt cold and uncertain. Yet beneath the sorrow, some wondered how they could begin to rebuild after such a dramatic fall. As the days passed, the city's mood shifted from panic to resolve. People dusted themselves off, searching for answers. What had driven so many to risk everything for a flower? Some looked for solace in shared stories, finding comfort in knowing they weren't alone. The aftermath felt like a deep winter, but resilient minds began to plan for spring, determined to learn from the drama that had swept them up so completely. The silence after the storm hung over the canals and markets. Once lavish gatherings faded into memory as people recalibrated their dreams. Historians would later write of the crash, but for those living through it, loss and resilience were far more personal. Gradually, life adjusted to new realities. Not all would recover what they'd lost, but many discovered a stubborn hope grounded in the belief that futures could be rebuilt from even the darkest moments. The tulip crash became more than a financial story. It was a human one shaped by risk, ambition, and emotion. In its wake, families and entire communities confronted hard questions about value, trust, and the lure of easy fortunes. Through confusion and heartbreak, the Dutch spirit endured. Learning from ruin, they set their sights on rebuilding, proving that even after the wildest storms, resilience can spark a new beginning. Chapter 5. Lessons Learned, Risk and Psychology. In the aftermath of Tulip Mania's collapse, people looked back and asked, how did this happen? It is not just a question of coins and contracts, but a puzzle of human nature. We begin by stepping inside the minds of those who rushed in and those who held back, as hope soared and dreams crumbled with startling speed. Imagine a crowded market, brimming with voices echoing like the sea before a storm. Each trader, like a sailor aboard a small boat, hopes to ride the swelling waves to fortune. But as winds of rumour and optimism strengthen, it becomes easy to forget how quickly a calm day can turn wild. This is the risk beneath euphoria's hidden current that can capsize even the boldest dreams. Behind every decision, a lantern flickers in the dark. Some trust its feeble light. Others chase shadows where riches seem to dance. In the frenzy of speculation, logic can fade, replaced by fear of missing out and hope for quick gain. When crowds move together, even those who hesitate feel pulled along, caught between caution and a longing to belong. The story of the tulip bubble is also the story of herd behaviour. Like travellers huddled in a storm, people often take comfort in moving as a group. Safety seems to lie in numbers. But when trust becomes blind and each person tries to outpace the next, small ripples can grow into towering waves. In the end, the herd can tumble toward danger as one. Speculators, lost in dreams of wealth, sometimes ignored the signs of risk all around them. For some, tulip bulbs became not just flowers, but passports to new lives, better homes and freedom from worry. The power of desire can cloud warning bells, turning risk into adventure. As each deal pushed prices higher, logic struggled to steer the ship, and euphoria took the helm. Yet, alongside the bold, there stood watchful onlookers, those who saw the storm brewing and hesitated. They watched with concern as prices soared beyond reason, whispering doubts and warnings as others hurried forward. These cautious souls are reminders that every age of speculation has its skeptics, those who cling to reason even as the world around them seems swept away. In the chaos, the gap between hope and reality grew wider. A single tulip could be traded for the price of a house, but was it truly worth that much? The crowd's excitement blurred the line between value and wishful thinking. Like lanterns shining over foggy waters, the lesson emerged. True worth is anchored not in dreams, but in careful judgment and reflection. So, what does tulip mania teach us? Human nature is drawn to stories of riches and risk, swept up by promises of easy reward. Yet, as history unfolds, we see how reason must guide even the brightest ambitions. The legacy of the bubble is more than lost. Fortuenzit is a mirror, showing us the enduring power of psychology over markets and minds alike. Chapter 6. Myths and Reality. What really happened? In the shadowy aftermath of tulip mania, fact and legend have twisted together, forming a story more fantastic than reality itself. This chapter peels back the layers, inviting you to question what you've heard. We untangle rumour from truth, guiding you calmly through the tales that have echoed across centuries. What truly happened when tulips set the world abuzz with wonder and fear? The stories of million guilder deals are the stuff of legend, with whispers of fortunes lost on a single bulb. Narrators repeat these tales as cautionary fables, but how much do they reflect the actual events? We travel back in time, sifting through letters, bills and legal records to look for evidence. The picture becomes less clear-cut. Reality blurs with exaggeration, inviting us to seek the truth beneath the surface. Imagine a market where rumours fly as fast as the bulbs exchange hands. One famous story tells of a sailor who accidentally ate a rare tulip bulb, mistaking it for an onion, supposedly causing ruin. While vivid, such accounts may be more fiction than fact. Historians, separating colourful myths from sober reality, find that not every tale of disaster stands up to scrutiny. The real losses may have been less catastrophic than we believe. Newspapers and pamphlets of the era added fuel to the fire, eager for dramatic headlines. Satirical prints depicted traders weeping, beggars in the streets, and families left penniless. These images shaped public memory, ensuring tulip mania became synonymous with folly. Yet historians now question how widespread this devastation truly was. Some lost heavily, yes, but many participants walked away relatively unscathed, their fortunes intact despite the collapse. When examined closely, most so-called million guilder deals never actually changed hands. Many contracts were little more than promises, voided when the market turned. The lawsuits that followed reflected a search for justice, not always a story of widespread ruin. This gap between what was imagined and what really took place creates fertile ground for legend. Myths grew as stories passed from mouth to mouth, gaining drama at every retelling. Reality, as it turns out, is much subtler than the legends. False deals fell away, debts were negotiated, and most people carried on with their lives. The era's records show resilience mixed with regret, a reminder that economic shocks can provoke panic, but also adaptation. It's tempting to see tulip mania as a pure tragedy, but the truth is one of complexity, where people found ways to weather both fortune and loss. So why did the myth outlive the reality? People love stories of excess and downfall, tales that teach a moral lesson. The image of merchants gambling their livelihoods on flowers is irresistible, tapping into fears about risk and greed. Over time, tulip mania became less about history and more about the cautionary tale itself. It warns of speculative frenzy, even as the real events fade quietly into the background. As we leave behind the myths, the enduring truth is that stories of risk take on lives of their own. Tulip mania was always about more than bulbs, or Prophetite was about belief, hope, and the human tendency to chase dreams. The episode's real legacy lies in how each telling reshapes our sense of risk, temptation, and resilience. It's this shimmering border between fact and fiction that gives history its lasting power. Chapter 7. Legacy, a cautionary tale, still told today. In the quiet dawn over Dutch tulip fields, a story whispers through the petal sown carried for generations. Tulip mania is not just a tale of fortunes made and lost, it is a living lesson. Its roots stretch beyond the past, blooming again and again as a reminder to remain curious and cautious, even as the world continues to race ahead. The story of tulip mania echoes through classrooms and boardrooms alike. Teachers use it to show how dreams can quickly spiral into risk. Economists warn that excitement can blind even the cleverest minds. As people gather in Dutch towns, discussing the bulb's vibrant beauty, the air is thick with understanding. Markets are shaped by both hope and human nature, and memorable lessons often bloom amid the brightest colours. Every spring, tulip fields in the Netherlands burst with colour, drawing visitors from across the world. The bulbs, once tangled in financial frenzy, are now celebrated for their resilience and grace. Standing among them, it is easy to see how the story endures. The fields speak not only of past mistakes, but also of renewal. They offer a gentle invitation to pause, reflect, and learn from the tales that time preserves. Through generations, the cautionary tale of tulip mania travels on, shaping conversations about risk and innovation in markets near and far. The flashing colours of the blooms serve as both a warning and a wonderer, balance struck between ambition and humility. Children listen wide-eyed as elders recount the feverish days of tulip trading, each storyteller weaving hope and history together for new ears to hear. In Dutch towns, echoes of old market shouts seem to linger among market stalls, layered with the chatter of today's traders. The legacy of tulip mania is not just found in books, but also in the very spirit of the Netherlands. Here, curiosity thrives and innovation flourishes. The same energy that sparked the tulip craze now powers bold new ideas, showing that the lessons of the past continue to inspire present and future generations. As we watch the sun set over tulip fields, the enduring symbol of the bulb gently reminds us, beauty and caution can grow side by side. The Netherlands transformed a period of wild speculation into a story of cultural resilience. The world continues to look to Dutch ingenuity, not just for what was lost in tulip mania, but for what was gained, wisdom, creativity, and a spirit forever looking over the horizon. Globally, the tale of tulip mania serves as a fable for anyone who buys, sells, and dreams. The lessons move beyond flowers and coins into the very fabric of how we understand bubbles, trends, and value. Like a lantern in the marketplace, the stories glow lights the way for those daring enough to seek fortune, reminding all to walk carefully between hope and folly, with an eye on history as their guide. The spirit of the Netherlands lives on in each blooming tulip, every bustling market, and in the hearts of those who strive to blend curiosity with care. Tulip Mania's legacy invites us to celebrate beauty, embrace innovation, and remember what can happen when ambition runs wild. So as the story closes amid colourful fields and hopeful minds, it offers a timeless message. With wisdom, the world can keep learning and blooming, season after season,